My old home was just like any other home. It was small, about the size of a townhouse, and had a sky blue porch and windows, with a door that never closed correctly, unless you slammed it shut. The house was home to around 6 or 7 people, as well as a few animals. There was always something going on, like school, work, or the TV. While it was hectic most of the time, it was sometimes quiet, cold, and still, giving off a negative feeling that is just hard to describe. My last 2 years of high school were completely virtual. My dad worked long shifts, and my mom would be working irregular and overnight shifts. My brothers attended public school in person, so it was just me alone in the house, the animals, who slept all day. Even though I was the only person in the house, it always felt like someone was watching me. Even though I was alone, it never felt like it. Sometimes black, dark figures would walk across the front porch of my house. Naturally, I would go and check the window to see what it was. But when I looked, it disappeared. This became a common occurrence in the house, and eventually I learned to brush it off like nothing ever happened. The first strange things I remember was the cold, dark, and unfinished basement. It had carvings into the cement floor. There were 2 pairs of hands and feet with a description of children's names and ages. The most terrifying part of the basement was the back room. I never go in there. Something keeps me from going back there. The thing is, it was exactly like the rest of the basement. At least physically. It had the same concrete floors and everything. But I knew there was something off about it. Even my family hates going back there. When cleaning out the house, my parents saved that part for last. They went in, got what they needed, got out, and never looked back. There was also the strange occurrence of knocking coming from inside the walls. As people who live with me know, I'm a night owl, and it could take me forever to fall asleep. One night, it was around 2 in the morning, and I was trying to go to bed. I heard this medium-paced knocking coming from inside the wall. At first, I thought it was someone knocking on the other side, so I got out of bed and went to open the door to see who it was. But when I got out of bed and opened the door, the noise stopped, and there was no one there. The entire house was quiet and asleep. I went back to bed thinking that it was nothing. The same thing happened the next night. But instead of going to see who it was, I asked it to stop, and it did. After about half an hour of silence, the knocking started again. I eventually fell asleep, but I did not sleep well. The most recent occurrence, strange activity happening inside the home, was whispering in my ear. My room, where I heard the strange knocking, is the only way to get to the attic. My parents were watching a movie in the living room downstairs while I was sent to retrieve something from the attic. I always hated the attic and hated going up there. It was old and worn down. You would stand at the bottom of the stairs and feel that something was telling you not to go up there, to stay away. There was a sense that there was something up there that was not supposed to be. As I opened the door and started walking up the steps very slowly, I heard something whisper in my ear. Not only did I hear it, but I felt a breath of air rush onto the side of my face, as if someone was talking to me. I turned around and realized I was the only one there besides a creepy porcelain doll lying on the floor, looking directly at me. I quickly grabbed what I needed, and I ran out of the attic as fast as I could. Over the next few months, I continued to see weird things, such as bright light start across the room and fade away. I sometimes heard them say things, whispering my name. During the last weeks of moving out, the whispering stopped. I was relieved. When I went back to the house a month later to do some final packing, I walked up to the attic to check on the doll. Not only was it no longer there, but the attic was completely cleaned out. I asked my parents about it and was told that the doll was packed in one of the boxes, but they could not remember which one. Was it taken to our storage unit, the new apartment, or one of my boxes here on campus?